afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the U.S. Capitol building. If you've joined us today for the insurrection, please make your way to the Upper West Terrace interior, where the doors will be opening shortly. Please stay in single file, stay behind the safety cordon at all time, and if you get lost, please speak to a Capitol police officer. They'll be sure to point you in the right direction. And the owner of a beige Ford Focus, plate ending 182, please report to reception as you've left your lights on.
What's on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and some pretty big news coming out, obviously, yesterday after a flurry of executive orders. I'm still watching Trump to see if we get a free Ross order today. I guess Elon Musk said that it's coming today. That was kind of the last of his big day one promises that I at least remember that he made to people. But last night, the very first, I believe, executive order he signed when he was in the Oval Office was in fact a pardon. And it was a pardon for what I can tell is the overwhelming majority of people that were, in my opinion, wrongly imprisoned. Except that's where the deep state said, no, we're not going to comply. They're already fighting him, refusing to release these people. And the scene outside the DC jail sees some of these guys coming out in stretchers. I don't know what's going on. This is an important story, but given the nature of it, I know that the old YouTube isn't going to like it. So I'm really glad I have this sponsor for it real quick. This is Sheath. Check it out. Huge shout out to this video sponsor, Sheath. You know, I've been standing behind this product for many, many years, and there's a reason why. And fellas, I know this isn't something you think about very often, but I promise if you give Sheath a try, you're going to be really, really happy with their product. Sheath was invented by a U.S. Army soldier who came up with the idea for Sheath during his second tour in Iraq, where it's hot as heck and his boys needed to breathe. The boxers are designed to keep your balls off your legs. Sheath has two individual compartments that keep everything down there separate, cool, and comfortable. And fellas, you know what I'm talking about. I was a little skeptical of the dual pouch thing, but let me tell you what, it's a game changer. And by the way, if you're not into that idea, you don't have to use them. I don't always use them, especially if the weather's pretty mild and I don't necessarily need it. You can just wear them like a regular pair of underwear if you want. Just in time for the holidays, Sheath has also rolled out new holiday plaid and their winter base layer set for ski season. If you're in Wisconsin, ski season might be for the fun times, but it's also very, very handy when you have to shovel that driveway or have to be outside for any amount of time. It really makes a big difference with the cold and the wind. Sheath will be the most comfortable pair of boxer briefs you've ever worn in your life. Plus, they have brand new materials like bamboo and mesh for even more cooling comfort. Go to sheathunderwear.com/thequartering and get the most comfortable underwear you've ever worn. It also makes a great gift, ladies out there. If you use promo code thequartering, you'll also get 20% off your order. Head on over to sheath.com and promo code thequartering for 20% off your order. Fellas, I know it might seem like a weird thing, but Sheath has been a really, really long time sponsor for the channel. I only ask, give them a try. I really think you're going to like their product. And I know it's weird to think about, changing that up, especially after wearing the same thing forever. But give it a try. And they're definitely a company that does not mess around with woke nonsense. And I think you really like them. So Trump issues 1,500 pardons for January 6th. Defendants, we're going to release our great hostages. And that's the correct word for it, to be totally honest with you. I can't think of a better word for it. Now, some of these people did break the law. Here's the thing. There's two groups of these individuals. The first is people that, at least in my opinion, should never have been arrested. At the very minimum, never should have been in jail. And then there's a second group of people where maybe they did something that, is jailable. Maybe they got into a brawl or something like that, but they were wildly over-sentenced. Then you had people like Enrique and others who were very politically sentenced, and reports even indicate that they were offered no jail time if they would simply say that Donald Trump told them to do it, and they refused, instead eating a 25-year penalty in prison. So Washington, president issued pardons on Monday to hundreds of participants in the worst day in American history ever, according to Democrats. The newly sworn-in 47th president signed the document commuting 14 sentences and offering a full and complete unconditional pardon to all other individuals convicted of offenses related to the events. I will say this, they've been in jail a very long time already. I see people who do far worse in this country get 2 years, maybe 1 year, maybe no time at all. So they've already been in jail for a long time. These people have been destroyed. Trump said to the Oval Office when asked about the benefit, if any of the beneficiaries have been, put their hands on cops, so to speak. The wild thing is, even if they had, right, most of these people were incredibly over-sentenced. Here you have families and supporters sing the national anthem for the J6 detainees outside the DC jail, where I believe the overwhelming majority of them are being held. Not a great effort. But the fact that they're there and it's like 20 below zero, I'd say that's pretty good. And let's see. Here you have some of the reactions. By the way, here you go. As of 51 minutes ago, the residue of the swamp can't even release their hostages with dignity. It's over. Let them go home. Here's one of the tapes.
I'm giving you literally all I got. But no more are going to be released tonight, okay? And
why not?
Tomorrow is a brand new day. We'll see what tomorrow brings, okay? I'll probably be here with you.
What do you mean tomorrow's a brand new day? Let them out. The president himself said, free them. Let them out. I don't care what you have to do. Do your job. All right, I remember I had to bail somebody out not that long ago. And it was ridiculous, a ridiculous process. But I wasn't the president, right? The president himself said, yo, let these people out. You all work for the president. Go do your job.
Okay?
It's a violation. You don't release them after release.
Of the law, right?
Come in.
No, I was told no more tonight.
No more tonight.
No more tonight. Okay?
We trust you.
And tomorrow, I don't know. Okay?
I mean, what?
That's the best I got for you.
Can you tell us the condition of the prisoners?
Nope. I'm sure they're fine.
We just worry that you release them after we left.
No. The commander has assured me no more.
Imagine sitting 4 years in prison and they're saying, oh, well, we'll get to it when we get to it. Now, I will admit, I don't know how many of them were in that particular facility. Maybe it was 100, 200, 300. Paperwork does have to be done, and it wasn't signed until almost 8 o'clock Eastern time last night. That's probably a lot of paperwork, I imagine. But, there's really no excuse to say, look, I'll authorize overtime or whatever. Get this out. People are outside, rallying for them. Of course, anti-Trump protesters are currently clashing with them. Why? Because these people are probably paid to be there. They're losers. They have nothing to do with their lives. I gotta turn the music off, but here you have an anti-Trump protester getting owned by cops saying, get out of here. I mean, it's good to see they did their job, wheeling away this one soy-infused loser who wants to harass these people who are probably families, friends, and supporters of people who are sitting in prison unrightfully.
Right over on the other side. No, sir. No, let him go in there. I'm going to lock him up myself.
Yeah, people are saying,
go on in if you want to. I'm locking up myself.
Yeah, go on in if you want to, it says, right? These people are going to eat you alive. Now, do I think every Capitol police officer is complicit in delaying this? No, I don't. I think the boots on the ground that are standing outside in the ice cold probably have nothing to do with it. You can see Laura Luma writes, my friend Joe has officially been released. He's a combat veteran who served 17 years, or who was sentenced to 17 years in prison over that day. I attended his trial in D.C. and raised thousands of dollars for his defense. I personally advocated for him to receive a pardon. Joe suffered a traumatic brain injury while deployed to Iraq, for which he received a Purple Heart. Joe Biden's DOJ stripped him of his military pension when he was jailed. I hope President Trump will restore it, along with Joe's veteran benefits. Now, he was one of the people that got a commutation, not a pardon. So I don't know, but I certainly hope he would. Of course, the mainstream media is having a total and complete meltdown. They went after cops and they tried to overturn an election. What we know about is mass pardons. Look, I'm not going to say that there maybe wasn't a person or two that got a little too excited, that got a little too riled up. Maybe they put their hands on somebody. And I'm saying those people, give them a ticket, sentence them fairly, and I think that should be the end of it. That's not what happened. And, you know, ultimately, it's absolutely bonkers to me that you would have anybody advocating for these people having additional time in prison or these ridiculously long sentences. Everyone that advocated for it was literally just doing so to own Trump. I'm not kidding you. It was a Trump thing. We're going to own Trump. Ha 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 ha. You know, this and that and the other thing. And it's pathetic. You know, if anybody on the right was saying that, I would definitely be pushing back against it as well. I will point out, it's pretty curious how literally none of the leftoids who, invaded several different government buildings over their Free Palestine movement, not only were none of them charged with anything, but none of them were crammed into federal prison, put in solitary confinement for years. People like Owen Schroyer sat there and rotted in federal prison and never even entered the building. Again, I'm not saying some of these people are completely guiltless. What I'm saying is they were wildly over-sentenced at minimum, and many of them, like grandmothers. And by the way, people ended up deciding to take the ultimate ticket off this planet because they were faced with jail time. Because of the political persecution of the Joe Biden DOJ, there's at least one person that I know of that decided it would be better to, self-delete than to serve time in federal prison. That is a life that was lost that never should have been lost. That probably never would have been lost if it weren't for the politicization of the Department of Justice. You know, you see Van Jones, shock and awful.
I was prepared for shock and awe. This is just shock and awful.
Oh, he's so funny.
I mean, if David is 100% right, this could be interpreted by some people as a green light for right-wing political violence.
What?
That's not his intention.
What are you talking about? Those people served 4 years in prison. I don't think this is a green light for literally anybody.
Be interpreted that way because why do you put people in jail? 3 reasons. You want to incapacitate dangerous people. You want to punish people for doing bad stuff. And you want to deter people from doing the same thing again. It looks like
I don't think anyone is going to say, hey, I'll serve 4 years in hopes that President Trump will pardon me. I legitimately don't believe that there's a single human on the planet that is looking at this and thinking that. Only Van Jones thinks that's true. Absolutely bonkers. I hope you're informed by this video. If you were, please do leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, subscribe or follow down below. Don't forget to check out Sheath. Absolutely strong sponsor of this channel. Military veteran. Absolute great company. And they don't mind being on the spicier videos. We'll talk to you again real soon.